Alrighty, welcome to today's next level session. I do have a topic for today, little kind of demo or walkthrough. We'll build out a kvCORE coming soon funnel. Now, I think we did one of these not too long ago. If we look at insiderealestate.com/webinars, which is the link that redirects you to the playlist with a lot of these replays, we did a coming soon session. So let me just look for that for you guys. Coming soon lead generation flows from 2/8/22. So this is going to be a little bit different than that, the way that we go about this. It's going to use some different functionality. But I've been talking to my brother, who I don't know if he's going to sell his house or not, but we've been, toying with the idea. It feels like there's a market top here, as we've been talking about. And I was thinking, hey, if I do get into the swing of marketing his property, what steps would I take now that I know that there's some time before it actually gets listed, and there might be some opportunity to leverage coming soon. So I thought I'd share some of that thought process with you guys. Yesterday, just a little housekeeping, we'll mention we did do a Q&A session that had, lots of great questions from you guys. It was unusually active in the chat. So thank you all for all of that. I did chapter that out in the description of that replay. I haven't been great about doing that, but in that particular case, because there were so many different topics covered, I will reference that session, and I'll try to be better about doing that in the future. So definitely check that session out if you missed it. It was pretty action-packed. And as always, feel free to chat in the box with any questions you might have. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube, we do appreciate a subscribe and a hit of that like button. Smash the like button, like Max Headroom. You got to say it like that. All right. So let's get going here. So the property in question that I'm going to build out this coming soon funnel for, I don't even have any pictures for it yet. But I've never let stuff like that get in the way. And actually, these are the sorts of things that we let ourselves kind of get held up on. Like when you have momentum, you have an idea. I'm probably lean more toward the side of I take action too fast, and it comes out a little sloppy sometimes. But at the end of the day, I get to be a productive person because of that. And then the other end of the spectrum is people who look for every reason not to take action. And a reason not to take action here would be, I don't have any pictures of the property. I got to call the seller. I got to get over there. But with modern technology, you don't really have to. So where I'm going to start on this journey is I'm going to Google the property on Google Maps right here. So let me start. Actually, I'll go to maps.google.com. And you guys could use this for any sort of real estate marketing you're doing where you need a quick picture of the property. So 2926 51st Street South. And then Google usually gives you really quickly this street view. Sometimes it'll be down here in the layers, but I think we're all familiar with this. And I can click and it'll pop me right on the street of the property right here. And usually I can get a better picture of the house than this from street view. So what I did was I just used my mouse cursor to zoom in and out. I could also use this on the bottom right here. You see me kind of hovering with my mouse, the zoom. What does this do? Oh, that turns you around. So you can kind of rotate the view with that. So I'm just using my mouse to do that. We'll zoom back in here. And I'm just going to grab this kind of cryptic picture of the house, right? It's kind of blurred and we're looking through the trees, but we're just going to roll with it. So let me grab that picture. And of course, I'm going to eventually get actual pictures, photos of the property. But if we're doing coming soon, the thinking is, a little bit of curiosity, not going to hurt, right? So we'll have a little bit of curiosity going on here. So this is screenshot 5. I just use my screenshot tool, which is Light Shot Screenshot. I have used this for like 10 years now, I think. I love this tool, but people ask me sometimes, so I'll just share it. It's called Light Shot Screenshot. It's totally free. And what I like about it, as opposed to the snipping tool or other options like Screencast-O-Matic, you can use a keyboard shortcut. In this case, I use print screen, and then it just brings it up and I can quickly share and save and do all kinds of stuff with my screenshot. So if you want to share in the comments your screenshotting tools, if you have one that you like, feel free to do so as well. So I've got the image shared to my computer. And then the next step I'm going to take, I wanted to hit the record button here too. The next step I'm going to take is I'm going to go into kvCORE and I'm going to go over to listings and I'm going to create a manual listing. Okay, so in our outline here, the steps that I'm taking, I'm going to build a manual listing. That's the first thing I'm doing. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to click add listing. Let me get rid of some of these old ones because they're not relevant. And I'll click add listing up the top, and then I'll type in the address. kvCORE kind of has the Google database connected, so it'll kind of load everything up for you nice and easy. That's a handy feature. Property details. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts. I got to squash this really, really annoying dash lane tool here. Pause until I turn back on. Okay. So it's that password manager that we use company. It just always gets in the way. So my listing type is going to be coming soon. Property style. Oh, I forget. What am I supposed to put here? Income. Now this is a multi-unit. I'm just going to type that for now. And then property type. Let's go up here. This is probably what I was looking for. Is going to be income, like that. Year built, I'm going to just do some guessing for the purposes of the demo today, but I'll probably clean this up. Now the beds, baths, and all this other stuff, because it's a 3-unit property, I am going to be a little challenged by, but again, in the spirit of not getting held up by small details, I'm just going to type in something like 5. It's got, the whole property has 4 bathrooms on it. Basement, no. So I'm just looking here. I'm not going to go too nuts with the details, but of course you would. And I am moving fast because we're doing a demo, but I would take more time to do this. Listing type is coming soon. I guess that didn't select a second ago. Hit next. Photos, I'll click to upload. I'm just going to grab the one photo that I got from the screenshot. Good question from Bill, saying, would you do this before the MLS is loaded up from your perspective? So this is where it's going to vary by your broker's policies, your state rules around coming soons. I know some people are allowed to do this. Some places it's kind of frowned on. So that's kind of the way I would approach it. What I'm trying to do today is create a little buzz before the listing hits, before it's in the MLS is kind of the point. You know, and whatever you might think of that, I know it's not something I've usually done in my practice, but in this market environment, it's kind of something where you want to squeeze every little bit of juice out of any listing you get. So that's kind of why it's on my mind. So yeah, it's up to you, Bill, you know, whatever your broker policies might be. So I uploaded that one picture. If I wanted to, you know, I could take a walk down the block. One of a big value proposition of this property is that it's just in an amazing location. It's just a really cool spot. So I could just take another screenshot here. It's kind of cool. You can actually see on the street view. I don't know if you guys can see this super well, but you can see on the street 51st and 30th Avenue. It just happens to be where the property is. It kind of shows both streets at the intersection. It's kind of nifty, huh? And if I could put like an arrow that points to each one, if I really wanted to obsess here, but I'm just going to upload that one. It's just taking a second to upload. There we go. Hit next. Price. Oh, I have no idea. Something like 700,000. Boy, I hope my brother doesn't see this. Let's see. Like, oh, I'm not selling it for that much. Date. Now, so we picked the date that it kind of goes live on the site and then remove from site on. I think this is a handy feature. I'm going to put it at June 30th, but I have actually forgotten to take these off, right? So it'll automatically kind of expire from the site after a while. Link to an MLS listing. Now, this is a manual listing, so you could link to the full MLS if I had the listing here. Listing status, I'm going to make it active, which by toggling this button will make it show up on the site, I believe. Now, remarks, coming soon. Really great 3-unit property in an awesome Gulfport on an awesome Gulfport block, a few blocks from Beach Drive. First floor unit is very, very spacious with 2, possibly 3 bedrooms, and plenty of space if you want to owner occupy. And then top floor has 2 additional apartments. And I'm not gonna, I don't want to make for you guys this. I'd probably go a little more into it, but amazing opportunity to live in an A+ in a great location and generate rental income from the top units to help pay your mortgage. Or if you're an investor, it doesn't get any better than this from a buy perspective. All right, so sorry to make you watch write that, but a little bit of description of the property, finish, and there we go. Now, one thing that is kind of new with Property Boost, it must be in the last few months, we can actually now boost these listings, these manual listings that we add to the site. So I just want to mention that here. You see this button appears and it says Boost Property. So I believe when I hit that, let me just show you that experience. So if I wanted to, I could run a property boost for this if I was ready, and it would drive traffic straight to that page. I believe it does the regular lead form stuff in Facebook where people would enter their information and then it would redirect over here. Some good stuff here on Property Boost that if you guys haven't noticed it, we've been making lots of enhancements to the product in general. So if I wanted to, I could run a Property Boost ad. I'm not going to do that today. The actual coming soon listing, if you click on the address, you'll notice that you can get the direct link right here. So if I click that, new window will open up. And you'll see it appears on the site like so with my description. It looks like pretty much any other listing, but people can land here and then get the information. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of driving traffic straight to this page, I'm going to create a growth system or a funnel where in order to get information about this property, I'm going to require people to use a kvCORE text code. I think in the webinar we did about 2 or 3 months ago about coming soon, we built a landing page for a property that also works. And remember that you have a number of different methodologies for capturing leads with kvCORE, and any of them is appropriate, or you can mix and match and use multiple on any funnel. In this case, I just kind of want to show off this functionality. And I also am curious myself as I get this going, if I do get this property listed, I'm curious to see what the response on this would be. So we're going to build a text code for the property. So the steps here are going to be the first, copy the link. I'm going to need the link to the manual listing. So I like to just bring up a notepad here and keep it on my computer or off to the side. And then I'm going to go into lead engine. I'm going to go to call and text capture. I'm going to click add new. And then my custom code is going to be 292651st. Could do that. It could be anything you want, but we'll just do that. That actually looks kind of hard. Maybe I'll get away with just 2926. And then what to send when somebody texts this is going to be a message. Hi, thanks for your interest in 292651st. Click here for more details, right? And then I'll paste in the link to the page. Also, just curious, are you an investor or possibly thinking about a place to move into, right? So our kind of format, my favorite kind of approach to these text codes is to give the information, acknowledge what it was for, give the thing, and then try to ask a question that gets the person talking to me. My hashtag, pretty straightforward here, right? We're just going to give it the hashtag related to the property. Hit enter. So anytime somebody texts this, we'll go to that hashtag, and then I'll just use the smart number. So I'm going to write that down here on my pad because I always forget it. Okay. So now that code is built. So again, whenever somebody texts that code, they're going to get those details. And guys, this is probably one of the coolest features of kvCORE that is probably the most underutilized. You have an unlimited amount of these text codes that you can use and create, and know that anytime somebody texts one of these codes, the lead comes directly to you. So it's really cool stuff. And again, you can create unlimited. The only restriction is that if somebody else who's using that same smart number at your company uses the same text code, it just won't be available to use. So you might have to kind of adjust. Like you're trying to use foreclosure, somebody else was using it, you might have to do foreclosures, something like that. So how are we doing so far, guys? We built the manual page. We've built a custom text code that offers the manual page. You guys have been quiet in the chat. Just want to make sure that this is working out okay so far. I cut my camera. I'm tired of looking at myself. All right. So no comments. I'll assume everything's okay. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, just comment on YouTube and we'll see the comment. Okay. So next step here is going to be to drive some traffic at this funnel. So, what have we done? We've created, this is sort of the lead magnet, right? This is the thing that people are opting in for. This is our capture point, in internet marketing terms or in growth system terms, right? And then now we're going to create 2 traffic sources to round out our funnel. And we actually also, it's kind of a little bit hidden, but we also, with built-in follow-up, because that second question that I asked in the text code, actually starts the follow-up. And because we've captured the text, the cell number of the person, we can then later mass text anybody who opts into this more details about the listing, which is kind of cool, right? So, so the follow-up to a listing specific funnel like this is pretty simple. Like, hey, it's live now. Hey, we're doing an open house. Oh, by the way, there's a price reduction. Anything that happens with the listing, you can start texting to that number now that you have the text code. A question from IB: if somebody else has the text code, does it tell us when we are creating it? Yeah, it'll say something like you can't create this. I forget what the exact message is, but it won't allow you to, and you'll know. Okay, let me try, because I'm curious. Let's see, foreclosures. I was trying to see when it would do that. At what point? It's just this little toaster, they call it, down at the bottom left. That text code already exists. It pops up to the left. Actually, from a UI perspective, I would rather that was more prominent, but that's what it'll do. It'll tell you it exists and it won't allow you to create it. A little frustrating. You'd rather know earlier before you go through all the work to create it. So I'll tag this, and as we usually do fine dining sessions, I'll try to get that over the product. Okay, so now let's run a quick Facebook engagement ad that advertises the text code. So in Facebook, if I go into the ads platform, come over here, there are a number of objectives that we can run ads for. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing a generic click to website ad, I'm just going to run a post that isn't trying to get the person to click off of Facebook, but is getting them to just engage and use the text code. So the way to do that, oh boy, this went a little further than I thought, faster. The way to do that, I'll show you in a second, but I want to make a note. We did the new construction niche last week. Check that out, guys. The ham, not the cheapest cost per lead, but that's pretty quick in a week. 26 leads at $5.39. So definitely check out that webinar. I'm going to pause this because I'm not quite sure that I have the leads piping in correctly. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to create an ad, and you'll see here where it says engagement. Okay, now engagement means that I need to have the post. We don't talk about these a lot here, but I actually need this post to exist on my business page before it can an ad can be run to it. So that's the step I'm going to take. I'm going to come here, and I'll just use one of my business pages. Use my fun Opportunity Knox page that I like to use for real estate stuff. So this is similar to like a boosted post, except I'm using the Facebook ad dashboard. So I'm going to create a post on the page and say coming soon, Gulfport, awesome 3-unit property, blocks, just a few blocks from beach. And what I could do too, to save a little time, could just do this. right? The description that I just wrote and I pasted in. I'm not going to put the address or anything like that. All I'm going to do is add the 2 quick photos that I had. Like so. And then I'm going to do text 2926 to 727 592 5415 for more details now. Right. And if I want to, I like to use these Facebook symbols sometimes. So this site that I use, it's called Pilly app. Copy that in the chat here to everybody who wants to use these. It's just kind of these symbols and icons that work well in your ads. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, and then I'm just going to paste that at the bottom. I'm trying to get the call to action to be semi-prominent and to pop out right here. If I really wanted to go the extra mile, I might actually put the text number in an image and upload that too. And then even better would be if I stood outside the property and made a video and said, hey, this is coming soon. People, ads where there's a human talking to you on Facebook gets a lot of really good engagement. And I might pop the number on that video, but we don't have time to do that today. And then you'll see I can actually just do a boost post. Maybe I can do that. I could toggle this and pay right here to boost it, but I prefer to use the ads dashboard. Just so you know, it's kind of the same thing, boosting and running an engagement ad. So I'm going to hit post. I'm going to let this go live. And here's what our ad looks like. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the ads manager. I'll choose that engagement objective. Continue. I do need to choose housing as my special category. Set a small budget on this just to test it out. $10. We'll set the location to be this county or the city. So I'll just do Gulfport, Florida. And Facebook still makes us go 15 miles around. No idea why. Well, I know why. It's the fair housing stuff that they're worried about, but that's such a broad range. It's very inconvenient. But the algorithm seems to find the right people. People living in or recently in this location. I could always choose people who are traveling here, but I'll go ahead and do that. I can't choose any name or gender information. My placements, I'll uncheck the audience network under manual placements. It's not critical, it's just better traffic. Just go Facebook and Instagram. Click next. And then on the next page, it's going to ask me to choose a page. And I need to choose the page that I put my post on. So I just chose my Propertunity Knocks page. And then my ad creative is to select the post. So we don't do this a lot here, but the reason I'm doing an engagement or boost is because we don't really want the person to leave Facebook. We just want them to text that code. And now that I think about it, one line of thinking here might be to only show this ad on desktop so that if somebody's on their phone, they don't have to scribble this information down. It's kind of easier to see, and they can grab their phone in their other hand. The way to do that is to go back here where we had placements in this section on our ad set. And oh boy, I've done this in a little more. I think it's to show more options right here. Facebook hides everything and makes it as hard as possible. We can actually say, hey, we can show it on specific mobile device. I can say only when connected to Wi-Fi, which means that they're at home. So that's kind of a good thing to do. I'm not even seeing the option to only show on desktop anymore, which is interesting. It's probably there and they've just moved it. I don't know where it is. But by checking the only connected to Wi-Fi, if you're trying to get somebody to text, the thinking would be they're probably at home or somewhere where they don't, they're not waiting in line at the supermarket. And they might be able to, if they're interested, figure out what that text code is and write down the phone number. Probably just overthinking it. So here is the ad. It's got the 2 images, and I can hit publish. So what we've done now is we've said, hey, we've got this text code that anytime somebody texts it, we're going to get a cell number. And now we're showing thousands of people in our local market that text code. And we know that anytime somebody texts it for information about this listing, we're going to get their cell number so that we can text them or call them and have a conversation about real estate, which is what we're trying to do. And then, of course, we can always also follow up, as I said a minute ago, with details about the property and sort of tell the story about the property listing as it gets listed and price changes and open houses and all that other stuff. So this is pretty complete at this point. It's a pretty tidy little funnel built around a listing. I just did it in about 25 minutes with you guys as I was talking. You know, as you can see, you can probably, once you get in the habit of doing stuff like this, you can probably do it a little faster, but not very hard. And this sort of roadmap that I just gave you is probably something you could have an assistant do. If you have an assistant or somebody on your team, if they follow this process, something you could conceivably do for every listing that you get. And in the process, generate lots of cell phone numbers. Now, I don't know how many leads I'm going to get from this. If the cell number angle doesn't perform well, I can always go build a Facebook lead form. I could build a landing page. There's lots of other ways to skin a cat, traffic wise and lead magnet wise. But the thinking here is, hey, we're leveraging coming soon. And then the last thing I had, I was just going to show in Banks.io. I know a lot of you are users of that. And this is kind of an appropriate offer and something I'm going to do to let the neighbors know that the listing is coming, right? We want the neighbors to know so they can tell their friends and family, but also so that if they're thinking about selling, we start to build those relationships, right? And then eventually get listings from the neighbors. So I'm going to mail this as a postcard as well in Banks.io. Let's do that quickly. Just go to estate demos here. And I could do a quick letter, I could do a postcard, a note card. Let's do a note card. I'm going to spend a little more money with note cards, but it's going to feel a lot more personal. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to upload an image. I'm just using the quick wizard here. Upload that here. Okay, well, that's going slowly. No questions, guys? Oh, Marcy asked if the smart number is my own phone number. No, it's you know, it's tied to the system, but I don't have my own smart number. I'm just using the company number. You know, in theory, you could use your own phone number and do the same thing. Oh, this is strange. Try that again. Not sure why it's not uploading that image. There it is. Okay, maybe it was something about it. It's kind of funny, like the neighbor would get this and be like, oh, I know that house. So I'm gonna click continue. And then I'm gonna write the message on my note card and say, hi. Just wanted to let you know that our office will be listing 2926 51st Street South pretty soon. If you know anyone who might be interested, please feel free. Please shoot me a text message. Right. So this, I might give out my number, right? I might do something like that. You can also text the code 2926 to 727 for more details and to be updated about the listing price there when the property hits the market. You know what? I might just get rid of this part of the call to action. Just say you can text. Thanks. You can also scan the QR code to get details. So the second objective here, you can see I can add a QR code that would just take somebody to the listing page. So I'm just copying over the URL. I put that in here, hit save. It'll add the QR code on a refresh right here. So it feels like you can see the handwriting font. I can choose different fonts, and it feels like a personal note, right? Just letting them know that the property is getting listed. And then again, the call to action is the QR code. Now, for tracking purposes, just something that's coming to mind, I could create a second text code that would let me know the response was from the postcard. With thanks, if somebody does scan the QR, we'll actually be notified about that person scanning. So I will know who it was and what address it was that scanned it. So hit save and continue. Now I can just go and find the address and just drop a little pin around it like this. Just kind of go like, just do the block, right? So, hey, it's only 9, right? I could do more, go wider. Maybe I'll go kind of like that. So 19 homeowners, we get this nice little kind of sealed note card. It'll feel really personal, and that's it. So good way to do it. If I want to save a little money, of course, I could do this as a postcard, but this feels a little more intimate. So that would be it. I'm not going to send this yet because I don't want my brother coming and yelling at me because I don't know if he's selling his property, but you guys get the point. Okay, so that's the demo. That's a kvCORE coming soon funnel. Hopefully you guys got some good takeaways from this. You don't have to do it exactly the way I did, but as you can see, kvCORE's got lots of tools built in that kind of let you do this kind of stuff. You got the text codes, landing pages, all different ways. And then you just sprinkle in a little bit of strategic advertising with Facebook ads or direct mail, and you got some good stuff going. Okay, so Kelly's asking to add a step to the smart campaign. So this is switching topics a little. Oh yes, you would need to clone your smart campaigns. And if it's not one that you created, if it's from the kvCORE library, if you create a test to add a hashtag, is it just a reminder? Oh, it automatically adds the hashtag. It's not a reminder. It will actually add it to that lead. Good news, guys. At later today, in about an hour, I'm actually getting a look at the new campaigns feature. I've been kind of mentioning that the last few weeks, and no promises, but it sounds like we're like a week or two away. I don't want to set anybody if it doesn't happen, but I'm just getting like a final look at it, and might be like a week or so away. Sometimes when developers say a week, it's kind of like the money pit, right? 2 weeks. It might be a month, but it sounds like it's very close. But this whole campaign experience is going to be way better. And what I'll try to do for you guys, if I can, I'll try to get the main developer who I'm talking to later today. Maybe I can get him on a session next week to kind of show it to all you guys. So I'll do my best to do that. No problem, Kelly. Yeah, about the questions. So I figured because yeah, we talked about that yesterday. So yeah, guys, any other questions? If not, we can call it a day. This was more of a demo day. Sometimes we just do Q&A. Sometimes I got some stuff to go off on. The point here is not that you have to do all these ideas. You don't have to execute everything, but as in the process of seeing the system at work in these various funnels and growth systems, you get to learn how to use kvCORE a little better, in your own business. And what's really cool about real estate is there's so many different ways we can skin the cat. Yeah. Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm actually gonna, I can address your question, Bill, go ahead. What's the alerts question? Let me guess, there's like 3 or 4 main alerts questions. I'm just kidding. The main one is, hey, I can't find fields that I want from the MLS. That's usually whenever somebody says something about alerts, but let me know what the question is. If it's that you can't find the fields, yes. How do I add days on market to your alerts? Oh, good question. So days on market, are you saying you want to show only stuff that's new? because the alerts just, I think we just grab anything that was listed in the last day or two. It kind of automatically does that, Bill. The actual alert feed. So it'll just grab any new listings and send it out, and it goes based on the schedule that you give for that alert. So let me go into a contact here. We'll look at some alerts. So click edit. So you set the frequency. So if I have this at daily, it's just going to send everything in the last day. But if I were to set it at once a week, then it would be showing everything for the last 7 days. That's kind of how it's driven. Yeah. If you wanted to build a squeeze link or just like a list of properties that were listed in the last 7 days, that's a little bit different. So what you could do is you could go to the all lead engine tools, build a squeeze page. And the field for that is going to just be just listed. I actually don't know that we have a days on market field in here. I think it's come up. I'm not sure why. I have a feeling it has to do with the fact that we deal with hundreds of MLSs and they all handle it a little differently. So the way that we do it in a system, if you're building a just listed page, is we use the option, I think it's the option just listed. It's the top one when you click options. And that'll grab everything. I actually do think it's a week. I'm not 100% sure, but we put some kind of parameter on that. We tag all listings as just listed like the first week that they hit our system from the MLS. Yeah, so this, if I wanted to build a link, so the alerts by nature, out of the box, that's what it's doing. It's just sending the newest stuff. It's not sending the whole MLS. It's just sending anything new that hits the market. If you want to create a link to recent properties, then you're going to go to options, just listed. And then you can create a link. And one thing to know about these links is that they are actually always up to date with the latest stuff. So if you have a buyer who's looking for new construction in a certain neighborhood or something, or a zip code, with certain beds and baths, you could create them a quick link like this and shoot it over to them and say, hey, here, I made you a special link. That's kind of a cool thing. It makes it feel like you're serving them, right? Hey, I made you a unique link that will show you all the latest properties to hit the market. And just a little pro tip here, this sorts it by days on website. You can do that with any link. You can sort by. When I choose just listed though, this is all the latest stuff to hit. Yeah, so Bill, it doesn't, it'll only show them the most recent in alerts. So this was when you go to lead engine, and then you go to IDX squeeze page. And then when we get to that section, the option for just listed was down here at the bottom under options, and you check off just listed. Yep. Yep, that's that. That idea just came to me. That's kind of a cool thing to do with a new client. It's not hard, but you say, hey, I built you a personal link, and then you send it over and you say, just bookmark this. This will, put it in your browser. And anytime you want to see all the latest stuff, you can just click that. It's kind of a cool thing to do for people. Cool. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. So if it's all right with you guys, I got a busy day. I'm sure you guys do too. We can call it a day. The replay of this will be on the YouTube channel. I'll answer Sheila's question, and then we'll get going. Sheila's asking a recommendation on adding additional home preferences in the client profile, pool and tub. Yeah, here's what you want to do. If you're having a conversation with somebody, and you're on the phone or going back and forth on email, and they're giving you details about what they're looking for, do a note like this up at the top right. But there's something really cool you can do with notes. You can pin them to the top. So see this pin to top? Need 3-bedroom. Has 3 kids. Right, stuff like that. And then I could add the note. And then anytime I'm looking at this contact, it'll be right up top. It'll be pinned. It'll be the first thing I see. So hopefully that helps. Yep, perfect. Sheila, you did that. That's kind of the best approach. Okay, guys, have a great day. I am going to kind of skedaddle, and the replay will be on YouTube, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time for our final session of the week. Have a good one.